This week's Webdvar is sponsored by Adam and Michelle Malik upon the yurtzeit of Michelle's father, Philip Jacobson, Pinchas Chaim Meir ben Kalman, Zichrono Livracha, may his neshama have an aliyah, and Adam's father, Joseph Malik, Yosef ben Avram Halevi, Zichrono Livracha, may both of their neshamos have aliyos by virtue of all that their children and grandchildren do in their Torah and mitzvah observance. Parshas Ki Sisa focuses, a great portion of it, focuses on the Chet HaEgel, the sin of the golden calf. But before the sin of the golden calf, there is a discussion in the beginning about the Machtis HaShekel, the half shekel, by which the Bnei Yisrael were counted. And right in between is a little piece that talks about the mitzvah of keeping Shabbos. And that's what I would like to focus on the pasuk that says, in which Hashem says to Bnei Yisrael, I want the Bnei Yisrael to build the Mishkan and invest themselves and their time and really be earnest and zealous in doing this, but at the same time I want you to understand, Ach es Shabsosai tishmoru. However, stop, meaning but, keep my Shabbos. As much as you're going to do in all of your enthusiasm in building the Mishkan, realize that you can't build the Mishkan on Shabbos. When it comes to Shabbos, you have to be passive. You have to stop. You have to stop everything that you're doing and focus on the day of rest. And so the Chavetz Chaim was a little bit disturbed by one particular word in that pasuk, and that is Shabsosai. Shabsosai is plural, meaning many Shabboses. If that is the case, what is God telling us? To remember Shabbos is one thing, but to remember many Shabboses, what is the deeper message here? And the Chavetz Chaim explains that the deeper message is that we have an obligation as people who observe Shabbos to help others observe Shabbos as well. This really has a two-pronged message. One is to outreach, that we're required to teach other people, to let them know, to show them the beauty of Shabbos, those who do not keep Shabbos, those Jews who are not fortunate enough to keep Shabbos, so we need to show them and encourage them and teach them how to keep Shabbos. But there is another piece to this. And that, in my humble opinion, is the inreach that is also required vis-a-vis the mitzvah of Shabbos. And I'd like to focus on one particular area that I've spoken about before, and that is when it comes to our Shabbos observance and our Shabbos table, particularly at home. A number of years ago, I mentioned in a Shabbos Shuvah Drasha that I felt that the challenge of our generation was not simple Shmir Shabbos in a passive way. Previous generations, we've heard stories of individuals, many who were related to us, who would leave work on Friday afternoon and come back on Monday having missed the day of Shabbos to be told that they were fired because they missed the day of Shabbos. And it was a real Mesiras Nefesh, it was a real dedication and sacrifice on their part to keep Shabbos. Nowadays, most of us don't have that sort of challenge. Yes, we have to come home early on Friday, but Shabbos itself in this country today is not a day which is required of work. Yet, I think that the challenge of this generation is to find the spiritual component to Shabbos in order that we can be Mekadeh Shavi'i, sanctify the seventh day, sanctify the day of Shabbos. And that doesn't mean simply by coming to shul and checking in, or by having a meal at our home in which we have many friends and just end up talking about frivolous matters. It means about focusing on our spirituality. It means on defining and asking ourselves, what does our Shabbos table represent to our family, to our children and our grandchildren? What do we want our Shabbos table to look like in their memories? And how does the Shabbos table elevate us spiritually so that we could withstand the challenges of the work week and the world around us? And I'd like to suggest that we have a tremendous opportunity at our Shabbos tables to allow our children to be the epicenter, to be the focus of everything that transpires, that goes on. And those of us who do not have children at the Shabbos table can allow Torah to become the epicenter. Whether it comes to Divrei Torah that one wants to repeat, that one has heard, perhaps the drasha that one has heard in shul, I have to throw that in, or something that one has picked up or heard during the week, or one prepares for Shabbos, or listening to the children speak their Divrei Torah, or singing Zemiros, singing songs that are appropriate at the Shabbos table. We transform a simple meal into a Shabbos meal. We give ourselves a sense of what Shabbos is all about by virtue of being active as opposed to simply being passive. Perhaps that's also what the pasuk meant when Hashem mentioned the word Shabbosai. Yes, refraining from malacha, refraining from work on Shabbos, is defined as one type or one part of Shabbos. But perhaps another part that the Chafetz Chaim may have meant was to being active on Shabbos, to pursuing spirituality on Shabbos. That is something which we desire and need in our lives. Something that we're reminded of every single week, twice on Shabbos, where we sit down at home and have meals, and the third time, whether one has shalosh shudas in the shul or one has shalosh shudas at home, one also has to focus on the idea of spirituality and how Torah works into our lives on a spiritual level through the meals that we eat on Shabbos. May we be zocheh to heed this message and make Shabbos me'ein olam haba, out of this world. Thank you and have a good Shabbos.